Where did you see
Ah,
Prince?
okay. I saw him in at Oslo Spektrum, and this was the same year. I'm sure you heard about the terror action here in Norway, where all those
Yep.
students were killed. Um, it was shortly after that, and everybody was thinking that concert was going to be he was going to do 2 days at the Oslo Spektrum. It's a big arena here in Norway, and everybody thought that concert was going to be canceled. Because everything was pretty much shut down. People were scared. People were in mourning. Nothing like that had ever happened in Norway. But the concert stayed on. He came out and he did the first show. And my wife and I, we were living up north at that time, so we flew down to Oslo, spent the night in Oslo, and then the next day was the concert. And we had open floor tickets. And I said to my wife, I says, we're a sporty couple. We're fit. Let's just kind of buffalo. Let's scrum our way to the front when they open the doors. And she's like, yeah, I'm with you. My wife, she's just a tiny little thing, but she's tough as heck. So when they opened the doors from the side of the Spectrum, it was surprisingly easy to get in, and we just planted ourselves right along the guardrail, slightly right of center stage, but right there. I mean, he was what my camera is about
Wow.
2 feet away from me. Yeah, I'd say he was about 2.5, 3 feet away was the edge of the stage.
Oh man.
Now, let's back up. I've been a Prince fan since the beginning. I'm 56 years old. When Prince started with his first album in 1978, see, a lot of people, these younger people think, oh, Prince started around Purple Rain. And when was that? 1980 something. But no, he started in 1978. And I was hip to that first album at that time. I was 8 or 9 years old. So I've been a fan of
Oh wow.
his all along. And this was the first time I actually had the time and opportunity to see him. So I was going to enjoy this. So to be there, pretty much center stage, right at the very front. And I think he performed for at least a couple hours. It was a long show. And it was just, and again, I'm a musician.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not just enjoying a concert. I'm studying the nuance. I'm listening to his solos and things like that, and just drinking in all of that experience, both for the entertainment but also for the learning experience. And I'll never forget it. I think a lot of people are not aware of how good a musician Prince was.
Yeah.
People hear
Yeah.
about it, but unless you see, and that comes forth on his albums, but it's something totally different if you see it live. Now, I've seen tons of live videos, but to actually be there. He had this one part where he had his guitar, but he was in front of his keyboard. So he's playing his guitar one-handed on the neck and doing a keyboard solo with it. It's like, is this real? Is this even, is this even happening?
Yeah.
And I think one of the coolest things besides the musical experience was I actually had a personal interaction with Prince. Like I said, we were center stage right at the front. And I don't remember what song he was performing, but he's singing and, dancing and bebopping. And he came to the edge of the stage right in front of us. And he's kind of looking at the crowd while he's singing and pointing here and there. And then there was a break where it was just instrumental and he wasn't singing, but he was standing there at the edge of the stage, getting people to clap their hands. And he looked down and he looked at my wife and then he looked at me and gave one of those.
Oh.
And I'm like, I know she's fine, but thank you, Prince. I know. So that was a very cool little personal interaction with Prince. And I tell people jokingly also, but maybe it's partially true. I tell people we were so close that Prince sweat on my wife, and I've never loved her more than I did in that moment.
Oh man,